I've thought of a way to get smoother than handheld footage without buying a gimbal. I'm not saying gimbals aren't good, and I'm not saying this technique is as good as a gimbal. I'm just saying if you want to spare the extra cash, try this. The intro that you've just seen wasn't filmed using a gimbal. I used this. It's the Manfrotto B3 live tripod. I'm going to show you how you can get smooth shots using a mini tripod like this, and also I'm going to show you some comparisons between handheld and using a tripod to make your videos smoother. So just to start with, you attach your camera to the tripod head as normal, but because it's so small and lightweight, you can grip the tripod leg with one hand, and then with the other hand you hold the pan and tilt arm like this. So you've got control over each movement. Now there are a few more tips and some advice that I want to give you, but first I want to show you some of the side-by-side comparisons I got with the footage that we captured. Now as you can see from this first comparison, there are a lot of shaky and jolty movements when filming handheld. On the tripod example, there's still movement there, but it's a lot smoother and it's more of a sway than a shaky, jolty movement. And you still have to look out for that up and down movement when you're walking. You'll be able to see that on this clip. But with practice and if you take your time, it'll be a lot smoother. Now I purposely walked normally for all of these examples just to show it at its worst case. So if you tread softly and really take your time with these shots, you can get some really smooth looking video. And here I've slowed it down so you can see just how smooth it can be. Now for all of these clips that I used, including the intro, I stayed mainly away from slow-mo and I didn't use any post stabilization, no warp stabilization, anything like that, just so that you can see how smooth it could be on the most difficult settings without cheating. And I wanted to give a true representation of what you could get. So with a bit of slow-mo and some post stabilization, you could get some really good results. Now this is where using the tripod is really useful. I was able to get lower to the ground by holding the tripod upside down by its feet and walking along. You can then just flip the image in post afterwards, which is what I've done here. So all you have to do for that is go up to the top right, click on effects, type in flip, and then select the vertical flip. Drag it onto your clip and that's it, done, simple as that. And this beats handheld any day because you can get a lot lower to the ground, and as you can see there's more in the frame there. It's a lot easier to do. There's no way you can get that low to the ground and be smooth with handheld. Yeah, you just can't do it. Now this orbit shot is really difficult because you're thinking about so many different things whilst trying not to trip over yourself. So in this example of mine, you'll definitely see those up and down movements here. It's a lot smoother overall and you haven't got that shake and those jittery movements like handheld. And again, with practice and slow-mo and some warp stabilization, you'll definitely get some really good results. So it's a great starting point. Now I'm using my Sony a7 III. I've got the kit lens on there, the 24-70, is it? Oh, 28. 28 to 70, sorry, I had to check then. And I've got image stabilization on the lens, and I've got the stabilization on the body as well. I'd just like to point out that this method doesn't replace using a gimbal. I'm just saying that you can get smoother than handheld shots with this method. And as well, it'll save you a lot of money if you don't quite have the budget for a gimbal or a stabilizer or a steadicam. And I probably wouldn't use it if I needed super smooth movement like at a wedding or a film or something like that. But for stuff like YouTube videos, messing around, home videos, maybe even music videos, depending on the vibe of the song and what you're going for. And it's just a great alternative really, and money saver. Now I know how expensive gimbals and stabilizers and steadicams can be, and that's why I came up with the idea. And it's a good way of saving money and using a tool that you might already have. It's got multiple uses. You can use it as a tripod, a stabilizer like I've shown, and even a monopod, because you've got the option here of moving and extending one of the legs at one time without spreading all out together like this, because some of the models do have that design where it's connected in the middle and you can't just move one of the legs at one time. And you can get really creative with it and hold it really high up and get some quite different shots like I've done here. So now you don't have to use this exact model, but I have because it's a decent weight and it's got the fluid head, and that's the most important thing, the fluid head. And this is good because that gives you the super smooth pan and tilt motions instead of that shaky jitter. And if you already own a tripod, you could just get the Manfrotto fluid head, pop that on top, and you're away. But just check that it fits your model first. Now, I found some great affordable alternatives on Amazon, so I'll link those down below. But anything, just look for something that's in your budget and that also you might get other uses from as well. But I do love the Manfrotto stuff. It's just really well made, really well designed and trustworthy. It's a great weight, this. It's just ideal. This comes in its own little bag that's easy to just carry, sling over the shoulder, and you're away, and it compacts nice and small. It's just a great option. Now, to get the smooth results as possible, you'll have to take time to practice with this technique because it's not easy. So you just got to get used to it and try different things, and also practice the movements that you're going to use. And make sure when you walk in, just tread softly and bend your knees and go nice and slow to start with until you get used to it. This will help with that up and down motion that you can see. But that's just the same with a gimbal anyway. Remember to use the pan and tilt arm to help with that smooth motion. Doing that, it's going to jolt like that sort of thing, whereas doing this is going to help. So you just try and get used to that motion as you're walking round, or whatever you're doing, depends on what you're doing. You get some really good shots as you walk in. You can do like a tilt type thing like this, pans, whatever you want. Just be creative and try different things. Put your image stabilisation on, put the in-body stabilisation on as well if you've got that. Just plan and practice your movements. But above all, just go and have some fun with it. Try different things. Let me know what results you get as well. And if you use this and you make a video with this technique, put a link to the video down here and I'll watch it and have a look, because it's always good to see what everybody else is doing as well. So that's it. I hope this video has helped you or given you some ideas at least. Please give it a go. So thanks for watching, if you still are, and since you've made it this far, you may as well like the video, subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified of new videos. I'll see you next week. I think that's going to be a problem. Fireworks outside, just testing the audio, falling at the first hurdle.